Welcome once more to Tech Stream, where we make tech simple and definitely fun. Today, we're going to dive deep into Acertenity UI, and we are going to see how Acertenity will help us to beautify our sites within minutes. Your React and Vite sites will not look dull anymore. With Acertenity, they're going to look so good. And as you can see, the examples of the components we have, they are very good examples. You can even dive deep and see more of this. The animated testimonials, you can take a dive into this and see what it offers. You can see how these testimonials are cool. I hope on your end you're seeing this because they are so cool, and you just need to configure them and you have them in your project. You can also take a look at the carousel. The carousel, oh my, you can just witness the goodness of Acertenity. So before we dive deep into configuring Acertenity with our projects, please ensure you subscribe, hit that notification button, and ensure you like. Be ready for the ride because it's going to be a so the very first thing we'll do is first to install React using Vite, and afterwards we'll install the Tailwind CSS plugin, and we'll ensure they both work before we now head over to install and bring the Acertenity components into our Vite project, and we'll be good to go. So the first command you'll want to run is npm create Vite at latest, and then we'll give the project folder a name. So for me, I'll call this project Bingo and give it some time to load in the Vite project, the React project. We'll select a framework, we'll go with React, and we'll go with JavaScript. You can go with TypeScript because Acertenity also has TypeScript components and JavaScript JSX components. So you can go with either. In this tutorial, we'll be going with JavaScript. And first, we'll cd to Bingo to confirm if the project is running, and then we run npm install to install the dependencies the project requires, and then we'll run npm run dev to see if our project is really working. We'll give it some time for npm install to install the packages needed, and then we'll run npm run dev in a minute. Npm install has just completed. Now we'll run npm run dev to see if our server is running, if our React project was able to be installed perfectly. So here's the link. We'll just see if the server is running. It will open in the browser. It will open in the browser to see if our Vite project has been installed correctly. Let's see if it's working. As you can see, everything is perfect. We'll now head over to first. I like to remove the custom code that comes with it. So the very first thing we'll do, head over to index.css. I normally just have to remove everything here. Just have to remove everything here. Just remove everything. Even for the app.jsx, just remain with the React fragment there. Remove everything here, the count, we don't need that. We'll not need that at all. So we'll have to remove this, not everything, the constant there, and then I also will head over to main JSX. Everything is good there. Everything is good and we are ready to go. Even for the index.data, there's no need to touch that. So I think we are good to go. So the very next thing we're going to do after this is now to install Tailwind, to install the Tailwind plugin to our Vite project and see how Tailwind works, to see how Tailwind is, the power of Tailwind. And after installing and ensuring that Tailwind is well configured, we'll now head over to install Acertenity. So we'll be using the Tailwind documentation, and we'll be using the Vite option because this is the best ways to install, to integrate Tailwind CSS with frameworks just like Vite. So the first command, copying it from here, I'll paste the link to this documentation in the description below. So the first command you'll want to run is npm install tailwind css, and the command you're seeing there on your screen, that's the first command we'll run, and it'll take some time, some little bit of time, and then we'll be good to go. Just ensure you run this very first command. even as we install and integrate Tailwind with our Vite project. And keep in mind, this is Tailwind V4 or version 4, and it came with some changes from the version 3. And to me, it's so good. And the next thing is to copy this. Don't copy the whole thing because I'll show you why. Just copy the second command in the second procedure, the second command. Head over to Vite config.js. Below that, just paste that just as the third code line. And after that, come and copy the Tailwind CSS declaration there. Copy it. And after React, inside the brackets, just create some space and paste yours there. And ensure after React, you put a comma to prevent any conflicts. So ensure you have React first declared. This is how we do it in Tailwind v4. Have React first declared in your vite.config.js.js, and then ensure you add Tailwind CSS, that command there, and you will be good to go. And after that, we now import Tailwind CSS in our global CSS file, which is the index.css. So you just come to your index.css, paste that import line there, and after that, you're good to go. We can test it out to see if everything is working. Our Tailwind CSS has been configured to our project. So I'll first head over to app.jsx, just create a random HTML code, and let's add a h1 tag. Let's just do the common hello world, and after that, the best thing we can do here is to just add a class name. So for that, add a class name. Let's give it a background of black, and then the text, let's give it some white tint to it. So we have given it a background of black and a text of white. You can run the server to see if everything is working. Npm run dev to see if it's really working, if we have correctly configured Tailwind to our project. Let's see. The server is running. Let's see if it will give us a hello world h1 component with a background of black. And as you can see, Tailwind has been configured perfectly and correctly to our Vite project. So the next thing we are going to do after this is now to simply add our Acertenity components to our Vite project, and we'll be good to go. This is how easy it gets. Be ready for the next ride. So the next thing we're going to do is now to incorporate our Acertenity components into this very Vite project, and we'll be good to go. So we'll be using the Acertenity docs, the documentation, and we'll be adding the carousel component into our Vite project. As you can see, as I previewed it the other time, it's such a good component, and we are going to add this to our Vite project. So we are going to use the manual installation part. First thing you'll want to do is copy this command, head over to a terminal, and you'll want to paste it and let the command run. It will install this Tailwind merge functionality into our Vite project. So after this is done, we'll now head to adding a new folder called lib, and inside that very folder we'll be adding a file called utils.js. For us, it will be JS. If you're using TypeScript, you will do the latter. So I hope it's done. Not yet. So in the meanwhile, as it's installing, we can be adding this file. So in your source directory, your source folder, you will add a new folder, called lib. And inside that very folder, you'll add a file called utils.js. For us, it's JS. For if you're using TypeScript, it will be utils.ts. And you'll come here, and as you can see, they provide both TSX and JSX. So we'll copy the JSX part, come back to the utils.js file, and paste it there, and we are good to go. And after that, you will need to install Framer Motion It's not here, but you need to install Framemotion to prevent anything from happening. So you'll come npm install Framemotion, and you let it run, let it install, and we'll be good to go. So after that, we now need to come and copy the component itself, the code inside the carousel.tsx. And as I earlier showed you, you have both options. You have the TypeScript option, you have the JavaScript option. So you'll be using either. It matters which either TypeScript or JavaScript you'll be using. So for me, I'll go with JSX. Copy it, and realize we'll also need to create a folder called components. Inside that, create another folder called UI, and inside the UI folder, create a file called carousel.txt. So we'll come back here, inside the source folder, create a folder called components, and inside that folder, create another folder called UI. And inside that very folder, you'll now create a file, not a folder, called carousel.tsx. If you're using TypeScript.tsx, and you'll be good to go. And then after, you remember we just copied the code here. I copied the JSX part of it, and as you can see, it was copied. So I just come and paste the contents of the carousel.jsx here, and we'll be good to go. One more thing you will realize if you are keen enough and you scrolled down, it has props. So for the component to run perfectly without any bugs, without any issues, we now need to incorporate these props inside when you are calling this very component. So remember, when you scroll down here, you will find that we have a map function, and it goes over an array, and it has the slides. It has a key, it has a slide, it has an index and a current. And if you go back, you will see on the image, you will see it has this. It has the name, it has the button name, and it also has an image. So we'll have to add the three for this component to run effectively. So you will come, I already configured my props here. As you can see, I have it here. So I'll just copy it. I'll copy it like that, and now head back to the code, and in the app.jsx, you'll come down here and now introduce the carousel.jsx. So not you just indicate the carousel. No need to put JSX. And the first thing you want to do there is to import. You'll import the carousel component, the carousel. Import the carousel component from, remember, we imported it from the components stroke UI stroke carousel. If you remember, it was here, the components, inside another folder called UI, and the file is carousel, and we'll be good to go. So we introduce the data I told you earlier, the props data, the slides data, and pass it as the props here when you're calling this. So the slides will be will get the slides data, and we'll be good to go. After configuring all this, we now need to just to do one more thing. Even as we are finishing, ensure you add the props. If you don't add the props, the carousel JSX component will have a lot of issues, or any other. You need to ensure that it has props. So the very last thing we'll do to this very tutorial is, remember, there's something here that is being referenced, and we have not yet installed it in our component, in our PC. So we'll now need to come and run npm install at tabler, yes, at tabler icons React. We need to install that so that it doesn't bring any conflicts. As you can see here, it's needed. The icon arrow narrow right was needed from the table icons React, and if you have not installed that in your PC, it will cause conflicts, and your JSX components will not load in your Vite project. So ensure you add that also. So I'll just give it some time to install that very library. Yes, the table icons were successfully incorporated into our carousel.jsx component into our Vite project. Now we'll run the server to see if now our carousel is now running in our Vite project. Our Acertenity carousel, is it really running on our Vite project? Let's run npm run dev to see if this is the case. The server is up and running. We'll now reload the URL to see now. It may take some time because this is the first time Acertenity is linking with your Vite project, so don't worry if it takes some time. We'll just wait for the first time to see if it really worked, or maybe you are facing issues so that you can see how to solve them, but let's give it some time. So as you can see, now the carousel component has been successfully incorporated into our Vite project. And mind you, it takes and maybe on your side it has taken a shorter time. Mine it took quite a bit of time, so be patient, but afterwards it will be smooth. Incorporating other uh, Acertenity components will be much easier and much faster. And as you can see, everything is now working perfectly. The carousel components have been successfully installed, successfully incorporated into our Vite project. So if you want to add the next component, you just head to the Acertenity docs. Maybe you want to add some cards, the same procedure, nothing more, nothing less. You just do the same thing and you add it. You can see, oh my, these components are so damn good. And from this, I'll now leave you to play around with Acertenity, play around with Vite, add these components, add them to your Vite projects, and everything will be good to go. Ensure you subscribe, ensure you like the video, and also leave a comment for this video to reach out to many more people, and so that they can also witness the goodness of Acertenity. Thank you so much and welcome back to TechStream.